Thank you so much for joining us today, Jade. I appreciate you being a part of this video testimonial. One of the very first things that I like to have people answer for me is, was the custom coaching program that you purchased worth your time and worth your money?
That's a really great question, because nowadays time and money are, not interchangeable. They're very valuable. And I think we're really understanding that now. So as far as the coaching program, I really enjoyed the custom coaching because it was one of those things where I knew kind of what I was looking for. At least I thought I knew what I was looking for. And when you get caught up in your own head, especially if you're hyper analytical like myself, sometimes you need somebody to break that cycle for you and really address those questions, because a broad answer isn't always the answer we're looking for. And so being able to pinpoint some of my questions and really understand my goals and helping me like, okay, if you want to get here, then we need to do these things first, because what they always say, if you're going to go to the store, make sure you make a list before you go, or else you're going to buy the whole store. As an entrepreneur, we're trying to do everything all the time. And sometimes we really need to focus on what's actually going to make us money, so that way we can pay other people to do the stuff we don't want to do. We can stay in our own lane.
Right. And so one of the things a lot of people ask is, not only is it worth the time, is it worth the money, but the next question is, when you talk to other people about what you received in this coaching program, what do you like to tell them?
My favorite thing to tell them is that Janine knows her stuff. And it's not just, oh, she's read a lot of books or she went to this, college or anything like that. She has a lot of resources that she brings to the table. And a lot of her information is in a way where you can review it when you're ready to. It is very much set your own pace. And so when I talk to other people and I say, hey, you should get together with Janine, because they'll be like, oh, I'm too busy for a class, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but it's all online. And then you take the classes, you do the trainings, and she'll send you videos of her talking to you one-on-one. It's pretty cool. It's like Star Trek. And then, when you're ready to move on to the next steps and you have questions, she is there for you. She's like a mother hen as far as like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? And she's there for you and gets you going the right direction again. So for the super busy people that say, I don't have time for a coach, you can have time, and she caters towards your schedule, even if you're like in Australia.
That's true. And you would know all about that because of the programs. When we first started talking, you wanted to describe the cross application of the program. So what do you want to share with that?
So the cross application, I thought was really amazing, to be able to take a concept and apply it to other parts of your life or even other businesses. So when I first started working with Janine, I was working on writing a book for a videography company and trying to get my videography company doing other stuff and becoming a teacher. I really had a lot of giant goals that I wanted to do. And what was very helpful is she broke down, okay, you want to be a teacher, you want to work with nonprofits, and you want to, not have your joints hurt all the time because you're always getting up and doing things and doing very hard labor. So when I reevaluated, when I started a new business, I was able to take those things that I knew were my goals and reevaluated, okay, if I want to teach, how can I apply it to this business now? How can I get involved with it? And it's something that not only applied to, the new business, but also to my personal life. So when we were talking about, I wanted to do more nonprofit work, I was able to get into it on a personal level, and I won't go into what it was, but the point was, is that I knew it was a goal of mine that I wanted to do. And I found a way to do it because Janine had all these ways, like, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. And I was like, I don't know which one to do. She's like, well, just do whichever one makes you feel good. Which one sounds good to you? Which one resonates with you? That's my favorite word that she uses, resonates, because on the inside, what's going on, on the inside, oh, these are the things I want to do. And then finding a way to do it will come very naturally, because that's where your mindset's at. And Janine teaches a lot on that. And those things just kind of work with everything.
I want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your incredibly busy schedule to spend a few minutes with me today to talk to me about the custom coaching program we built for you, and then relay that to my future prospects. So I appreciate your time.
Anytime.